Welcome to the webs we weave, more than meets the eye. Hey there, internet explorers and casual clickers. Think you know the World Wide Web? Think again. It's a lot like an iceberg, really. That top bit, all sparkly and easy to browse, that's just the tip. There's a whole lot more lurking beneath the surface, stuff most people don't see, let alone understand. Today we're diving deep, my friends, into the murky depths of the dark web. We'll be your digital Jacques Cousteau, exploring the myths, the realities, and everything in between. We're talking about the kind of internet that's whispered about in hushed tones, often associated with shady dealings and things that go bump in the night. But hold your horses, internet adventurers. Before you start picturing hooded figures exchanging Bitcoin for illegal contraband, let's pump the brakes and take a deep dive into what the dark web actually is, and more importantly, what it isn't. Because, and here's a little secret, the dark web is more nuanced and complex than those clickbait headlines would have you believe. So buckle up, internet denizens, because things are about to get interesting. Alright, let's break down this internet iceberg, shall we? First up, we've got the surface web. This is your everyday internet experience. Google searches, cat videos, online shopping sprees. It's the stuff that's easily indexed by search engines, the digital equivalent of a brightly lit shopping mall. Now dive a little deeper and you'll hit the deep web. Don't let the name scare you. It's not all that ominous. This is where you find password-protected content. Think online banking, private social media profiles, cloud storage, essentially anything requiring login credentials. It's the internet's massive backstage area, full of important but not publicly accessible information. Finally, we reach the bottom of the iceberg, the elusive dark web. Now this is where things get a little more interesting. The dark web is a small part of the deep web, but it's intentionally hidden, requiring specific software and authorization to access. Think of it as a secret underground club, with a strict door policy and a penchant for anonymity. But what goes on in this clandestine corner of the internet? Well, that's where the myths and realities start to get blurry. So let's grab our flashlights and wade a little further into the digital shadows. You might be surprised to learn that the dark web wasn't cooked up in some villain's lair. It actually started with good intentions, a tool for privacy and free speech, developed by the US Navy in the 1990s. The idea was to create a secure communication channel for intelligence operatives and dissidents living under oppressive regimes. This early version of the dark web, known as the Onion Routing Tor network, allowed users to communicate anonymously, their messages bouncing through a complex network of relays, making it nearly impossible to trace their origin. Think of it as the internet equivalent of a super secure, super secret postal service. However, as with any tool, the dark web's anonymity proved to be a double-edged sword. While it offered a lifeline to those seeking privacy and protection, it also attracted individuals with less noble intentions. Soon, online marketplaces emerged, offering everything from stolen credit card information to illegal drugs and weapons. The dark web became synonymous with cybercrime, its initial purpose overshadowed by its illicit underbelly. But let's be clear, the dark web isn't inherently good or evil. It's a tool, a technology, and like any tool, it can be used for both constructive and destructive purposes. Okay, time to address the elephant in the digital room, the myths surrounding the dark web. First up, let's debunk the notion that everything on the dark web is illegal. While it's true that illicit activities exist, there's also a legitimate side to this hidden realm. Journalists use it to communicate with confidential sources, whistleblowers to expose corruption, and activists living under repressive governments to organize and share information. In many ways, the dark web can be a force for good, providing a platform for those whose voices would otherwise be silenced. Another myth. The dark web is an impenetrable fortress of anonymity. While Tor does offer a significant degree of anonymity, it's not foolproof. Law enforcement agencies are becoming increasingly adept at infiltrating dark web marketplaces and tracking down criminals. Remember Silk Road, the infamous online drug bazaar? Its founder, Ross Ulbricht, was eventually apprehended and sentenced to life in prison. The lesson here? Don't mistake anonymity for invincibility. Finally, let's address the misconception that the dark web is only for tech-savvy hackers. While navigating the dark web does require some technical know-how, it's not rocket science. In fact, accessing it is surprisingly easy, which brings us to our next section.